This video of NFL players being asked their biggest ever financial flex is going completely viral on social media, as one of the players responded by saying that their daughter's college is paid for already and the daughter is only 2 years old.
The NFL isn't just about touchdowns, it's about trust funds. These players turned game day grit into generational wealth, stacking fortunes bigger than some Fortune 500 CEOs. From real estate empires and billion-dollar endorsements to pizza commercials paying like Super Bowls, the richest names in football prove the real trophy is money. But who mastered the wealth game best? Stick around because this countdown rewrites the playbook. Roger Staubach.
Oh man, bro, I don't know what's up with this situation, bro. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why. But Antonio Brown had decided to...
Roger Staubach is what happens when grit refuses to retire. Forget the fat NFL contracts today's rookies flaunt. When Staubach played, paychecks were about as modest as a rookie's first car. But Staubach didn't complain. He took that Navy discipline, fresh from serving in Vietnam, and turned it into a masterclass on long-term wealth. While his peers were shopping for Cadillacs, Roger was studying real estate maps like they were playbooks. His company, the Staubach Company, became a corporate real estate empire and was eventually sold for a mind-blowing $613 million in 2008. That's not just a win. That's a Super Bowl of cash. And Staubach didn't stop there. The man pulls in $20-30 million a year today, sitting on boards, speaking at conferences, and turning his Hall of Fame aura into cold, hard currency. He doesn't need flashy cars or Instagram flexes. His wealth whispers from the towers he helped build. The real scandal? Staubach never depended on football to be rich. He outsmarted the entire system, proving the truest MVPs might be sitting in corporate boardrooms instead of on the gridiron. Fran Tarkenton.
Fran Tarkenton not only revolutionized the quarterback position during his 18-year playing career in the NFL, but afterwards, he also revolutionized the computer technology sector.
If Roger Staubach was discipline incarnate, Fran Tarkenton was chaos bottled into pure profit. Nicknamed the Scrambler on the field for dodging defenders, he carried that same wild unpredictability into business. Only instead of dodging linebackers, he was dodging financial mediocrity. Tarkenton didn't just dabble in post-career investments, he went full entrepreneur. His empire of software ventures, tech startups, and financial services ballooned into a staggering $300 million net worth. Critics called him a shameless promoter, always slapping his name on consulting firms or financial advice platforms, but the receipts don't lie. The man knew how to monetize hustle. Even his motivational speaking gigs paid like touchdowns. While other retired QBs were fumbling into coaching or broadcasting, Tarkenton became a Silicon Valley-adjacent mogul. He blurred the line between football legend and startup founder, proving you don't need venture capitalists when you've got charisma and sheer nerve. The irony? Tarkenton's career was defined by improvisation, but his fortune looks meticulously scripted. Tom Brady.
This is crazy. Why did Tom Brady just sell his yacht? In 2021, Tom Brady bought this, the Wire 77 Viva La Vida, for $6.5 million. A few years later, he sold it for $7 million.
Now let's talk about the crown jewel of quarterback turned kingpin culture, Tom Brady. With a fortune clocking in at $300 million, Brady has gone beyond the GOAT debate. He's in the mogul conversation. Sure, his NFL contracts were massive, but the real dynasty came off the field. TB12 nutrition products, fitness centers, a clothing line literally called Brady. And then there's the record-shattering Fox broadcasting deal worth $375 million. If Staubach built towers, Brady built a brand, and then franchised it worldwide. But don't let the squeaky clean image fool you. Brady's life has been a saga of high-end real estate flips, crypto ventures, and let's not forget the billionaire glamour era with Gisele Bündchen. Their power couple wealth briefly tipped into billionaire territory before the split, and even now, Brady's Instagram reels make him look more like a lifestyle influencer than a retired quarterback. The shocking twist? There's no scandal to ruin him, no meltdowns, no bankruptcies, no wild arrests, just carefully polished empire building that feels almost suspiciously perfect. Tom Brady is living proof that sometimes the most outrageous play is being boring but rich. Wait, hit like right now or risk your bank account looking more like an NFL rookie contract than a Hall of Fame empire. Peyton Manning.
This is Peyton Manning's house in Colorado, worth $7.5 million. Peyton purchased the home in 2012 for $4.5 million.
Peyton Manning is what happens when a quarterback decides to become Madison Avenue's favorite son. With a net worth of $250 million, the man basically turned his forehead into advertising real estate. Forget NFL paychecks. Peyton made more shilling pizza, insurance, and soda than he ever did throwing touchdown passes. Papa John's, Nationwide, Gatorade, Buick. If you turned on a TV in the 2000s, Peyton was already in your living room, grinning like the neighbor who somehow owns your house. And the kicker? Retirement didn't slow him down. Manning spun his goofy dad joke energy into a media empire with Omaha Productions, the brains behind ESPN's viral Manning cast. He's not screaming wealth like a rapper with chains. He's stacking steady cash flows with the precision of a surgeon. Gossip blogs joke he's America's dad, who just happens to cash $50 million endorsement checks. But insiders know Peyton is one of the sharpest business minds in sports. The true scandal? Manning may be more valuable off the field than he ever was under center, Steve Young.
First of all, give us a sense of how HGGC fits into this world of private equity. Steve, you want to go first?
Sure, thanks, David. You know, from the very beginning, from our roots, we decided that we wanted to do private equity differently. And we believed that across the table were people that were founders, financial sponsors, management teams. Across the table is somebody who cares more about who I am than the last dollar.
Enter Steve Young, the quiet assassin of wealth. At first glance, you'd think he was just Joe Montana's backup turned Super Bowl champ. But behind the scenes, the man crafted a net worth of $200 million by playing the investment game like Wall Street's most polite shark. He co-founded HGGC, a private equity firm managing billions, and built a fortune so stable it makes treasury bonds look reckless. They call him the Mormon mogul, and it fits. Clean cut, low drama, but deadly serious about money. Forget flashy cars or designer fits. Young's flex is buying companies, flipping them, and watching his bank account balloon. He's done broadcasting, endorsements, speaking gigs, but all of that is side change compared to his venture capital moves. The irony? On the field, he was haunted by concussion fears and durability doubts. In business, he's indestructible. Steve Young isn't just a quarterback turned mogul. He's proof that sometimes the richest guy in the room is also the quietest. Russell Wilson.
Obviously, selling a house like this is not normal, and it takes a little bit.
It takes some time. This sale took 2 years. It was originally listed at $36 million. It included not just the house, but another parcel to build a home on that sold at what price, Jason? What did it all sell for?
Well, it sold for that lot, just sold for under 10. The house itself sold for a little over 21 million.
Yep.
Russell Wilson might not have the legacy of Montana or Brady, but when it comes to cash, he's glowing harder than a freshly polished Rolex. With a net worth around $165 million, Russ is the modern playbook for athletes who want to act like CEOs. That $245 million Broncos contract, just the down payment. The real gossip comes from his endorsements: Nike, Bose, Microsoft, Amazon, and his ownership stakes, like the Seattle Sounders MLS team. Add in his own brand management company, West to East Empire, and suddenly Russ isn't just throwing passes, he's throwing money into every high-growth industry possible. And of course, we can't ignore the ultimate flex, Ciara. Together, they've curated a lifestyle so glossy it looks photoshopped. Luxury vacations, designer wardrobes, multi-million-dollar estates. People clown him as corny, the try-hard quarterback with forced catchphrases. But corny pays when you're stacking hundreds of millions. The scandal here isn't failure, it's perfection. Wilson and Ciara have turned their marriage into a brand, and their bank accounts prove that in today's NFL, image is currency. Drew Brees.
Alex is business partners with former NFL Hall of Famer quarterback Drew Brees in opening a whopping 150 franchise locations across the country.
Drew Brees was always the steady hand on the field, and his bank account looks the same. Reliable, calculated, and perfectly protected. With a net worth around $160 million, Brees built wealth the same way he threw passes. Controlled, deliberate, and ruthlessly accurate. He flipped his massive NFL earnings into a portfolio of restaurant franchises, from Jimmy John's to Dunkin' to Walk-On Sports Bistro. While teammates were busy buying Bentleys, Drew was buying sandwiches and donuts, and cashing checks forever. Even his short-lived NBC broadcasting stint padded the account, while endorsements from Nike, Pepsi, and Wrangler cemented his mainstream appeal. Fans called him too safe on the field. No wild plays, no risky gambles. But in finance, that so-called boring approach turned into generational wealth. Add in New Orleans mansions and San Diego real estate, and Drew is sitting quietly on an empire that makes louder athletes look broke. The scandal? There isn't one. Drew Brees is the guy who proves boring millionaires are often the richest of all. Quick question. Whose bag impressed you more? Tom Brady's brand empire or Peyton Manning's pizza commercials? Drop a GOAT for Brady or pizza for Peyton in the comments. I'll be checking to see who the people crown as the real money king, Eli Manning.
You are now a minority owner in a company called X-Tech. Tell us about why this was an appealing investment for you and your background with the company.
Yeah, I think it's very appealing just because of my passion around football and everything related to it.
Eli Manning spent his career being overshadowed. Peyton's younger brother, the quiet one, the QB who never seemed flashy, and yet the man walked away with a $160 million fortune, built mostly from salary. In fact, Eli out-earned Peyton in pure NFL pay, hauling in nearly $250 million over his career. Add a string of endorsements: Toyota, Samsung, DirecTV, Gatorade. And suddenly the laid-back QB became a financial giant hiding in plain sight. Post-retirement, Eli didn't just disappear into suburban dad life. He teamed up with Peyton for the Manning cast, turning sibling banter into viral gold and another steady paycheck. But what really sells Eli's image is his humility. He walks around New York like a regular guy. No security entourage, no wild designer fits. Gossip blogs love pointing out how normal he seems, but behind the scenes, he's stacking Monopoly money-level checks and living like royalty in multi-million-dollar properties. Eli may have lacked theatrics on the field, but his wallet screams superstar. Joe Montana.
That first fund, that one had 22 unicorns. So many unicorns that it's going out of style.
There are some companies that you get, you just can't wait to see their monthly updates.
Do you sort of instill that Bill Walsh mindset into how you evaluate companies? You also missed on some of the companies.
Finally, Joe Montana, the man who redefined cool in football and somehow managed to make retirement look even cooler. With $150 million in the bank, Montana turned his old-school contracts into an investment empire. He was an early backer of tech unicorns like Pinterest, GitLab, and Dropbox, proving that Joe Cool had Silicon Valley instincts decades before it was trendy. Throw in his whiskey brand Montagia and a lifetime of commentary and endorsements, and Montana's legacy looks as golden as his 4 Super Bowl rings. But the real flex? His Napa Valley estate. Vineyards, luxury living, and a life that feels more like a lifestyle magazine spread than a football retirement plan. He's less quarterback, more vintner tycoon now, sipping wine while his investments keep paying dividends. The scandal? There isn't one. Joe's calm demeanor never cracked. Instead, his wealth whispers like a fine Cabernet. Smooth, strong, and quietly intoxicating. He's the blueprint for aging like moneyed wine. Legendary on the field, even richer off it. So now that we've counted down the wealthiest legends in football, I've got to ask, if you had their money, would you invest like Staubach, brand like Brady, or just chill like Eli? Let me know in the comments, smash that like button if you learned something new, and subscribe so you don't miss the next NFL Deep Dive.